So now I'll be transitioning over to two students, Anyssa Ang and Evelyn Smith, because they will be talking about the important role of students in this work for environmental and indigenous justice. So some brief bio. So Anyssa is a second-year environmental studies and public affairs student, and Evelyn is a third-year cellular and molecular biology student. And they both are officers for Seattle University's Sustainable Student Action Club, and they'll be presenting on it the environmental and social impact of artificial intelligence here in Washington State, and looking specifically at how this impacts data centers and air quality and energy consumption. So if you guys want to come up and take the mic.
All right. Hello, I'm Evelyn.
And I'm Anyssa.
And today we are going to talk to you about data centers. So first of all, to give you a picture of what data centers look like in the United States, it is estimated that there are 4,000 data centers in the US, which is more than any other country in the world. President Donald Trump has said the United States is in a race to achieve global dominance in artificial intelligence, and his administration has approved countless executive orders, some of which accelerate federal permitting for data centers like these. This next slide is a map of data center hotspots across the United States. The top 3 states for data centers are Virginia, Texas, and California, while data center capacity is projected to increase in Nevada and Arizona. It's also worth noting that since 2022, 2/3 of the data centers that have been built in areas of water stress. The main environmental concerns that we are thinking about when we talk about data centers is water consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. And as you can see from this figure, it greatly varies depending on what location the data center is in, where in the United States it's built. Today, we're zooming in on Washington State, which has 100 data centers, many of which are in Quincy, which is a rural town in central Washington with a predominantly Hispanic population. And this map is pretty cool. It shows you some of those data centers and the companies that own them. So one concern with data centers are these diesel-powered backup generators because they emit air pollutants, and the local communities do not want these air pollutants near their homes. Luckily for us in Washington State, we have a very robust hydropower system, and this hydropower system allows us to meet the energy demands for most of these data centers, and we do not need to rely on the diesel-powered backup generators often. However, in the next few years, we project that energy demand will increase. And as we have seen in the past few years, there's been a rise of unspecified non-renewable energy. The state of Washington has a goal to be on 100% renewable energy by 2045. So it is important that we do not derail this goal. Ultimately, the energy sources that companies choose to use for their data centers is up to the companies and also state regulations, which is why Anyssa will be discussing that further.
So as many of us know, in the Seattle area, there are numerous tech companies, including those that tackle AI from small to large. But when it comes to a substantial number of footprint, it really is the large corporations that make that up. For our presentation, we wanted to focus on Amazon, which is based here in downtown Seattle, and then Microsoft, which is based in Redmond, just across in Lake Washington. When it came to figuring out how large their environmental impacts were, it was difficult, especially with Amazon only providing their water usage per amount of energy produced, making it difficult to see like the bigger picture. And on the flip side, Microsoft only providing their total water use, but not breaking it down by site, complicating being able to build state regulations and figure out individual environmental impacts. But what we do know is that for Amazon, this year they invested about $100 billion in AI infrastructure and about $50 billion in open AI. And Microsoft is planned to use 18 billion liters of water, equivalent to about 100,000 person city by 2030, up 1.5 times from 2022. And for them, their investments in data center expansion totals to about $50 billion. We also wanted to bring up a recent article in the Seattle Times, some of y'all may have seen, addressing the possibility of data centers being built here in our downtown area, with clarification that thus far they are in the very early stages and have not undergone permitting. When it comes to our own state regulations, they have been very stalled in our legislature with a current bill that would help address sustainability impacts and also affordability concerns being stalled in committee, but awaiting turnaround in next year. For our call to action, we also wanted to promote continual learning in your advocacy through attending SU's own Ethics and Technology Conference happening on May 15th to learn more about AI and sustainability, but also tech in a global context.
We encourage you all to attend and ask questions about environmental ethics to the speakers there. Thank you.
That was such an amazing presentation, especially seeing how like the global, buzz and development about AI impacts us here locally. So thank you guys so much for that.